Well, good morning, y'all. As you can see, it's been a fine Virginia morning here. We out here hunting some coyotes in the mountains of Virginia, and I don't hunt them at night too much. Every now and then I'll get a red light out, but I don't have that night vision stuff. But name of the game is doing a lot of locating, and at night trying to raise them up with howls. Try to get a location on where they've been hanging out during the day. Where are they yarding up when it comes into early fall like this? And if you know anything about hunting in the mountains of Virginia or West Virginia, man, the wind is not your friend. It's fickle. One way it'll be blowing this way, next minute it'll be blowing that way, and it's really hard to fool this animal. Got a lot of respect for these little guys. They are way spookier than a deer, and they just don't tolerate human scent at all. But this morning I had a northeast wind, and I've never hunted this section before with that wind, so I was a little bit unsure about it. But I've been doing some locating in here the last couple of weeks. There's about 10 dogs, I think, maybe more, in 2 different packs. One on the mountain over there. There's a mountain down here and a mountain over here, and this is kind of where everything converges. There's a good sized river bottom down here, about, I don't know, half a mile that way. And there's major draws this way and that way, and then a mountain over there with a long draw following the river. So everything just kind of converges right here. I think that's why they've been hanging out here. Every fall they're in here. And this is the first time I actually got it done on these coyotes. 2 weeks ago I got a shot at one on this other mountain across the river. And it was a young one came in. And this time of year you can fool those little ones. So that's what happened. I had 2 come in this morning. Probably him and his little sister, his little brother. And he was taking the more direct downwind route, and the other one was coming straight towards the call. And I started in here about daylight, but I didn't want to howl. I just figured I'll come in here, spray distress. I know they're in here. They're working these clear cuts back here for their yard in the daytime. So I just come in here, get close to them, do some prey sounds, see what happens. This morning I came in. I was going to set up a little bit to the west of them. But I've done that a couple times, and the wind always busts me down there. It's a little lower elevation. Got in here on this medium-high point right here to my left. And there's another point right there with the draw in the middle. I was hoping to give them that draw. If they're in these clear cuts, they come right through this draw, right where my hand is. And or they come around this point. So I got set up in these pines right here, a bunch of little white pines clumped around this base of this tree, giving me good cover. It's really open in here. You can see it's open. But I had real good cover for that tree. And one thing I've been doing is standing up more on my stands so I can see better. Because, man, you get down sitting like this, and I mean, there's little folds in the ground. You can't see them. And then they get downwind of you. You never knew that you actually called them in. So I've been doing a lot more standing. And I do sometimes. I had a steep climb this morning, so I brought my hiking poles. But I also have a big staff that I use to set my gun on when I'm going to come in and stand. But I thought, it's so open in here, I might just use my sticks and sit down. But when I got up here, I seen that thick cover. I was like, I'm going to have to stand in there. So I put the call about, 10, 12 yards upwind of me, and in some thick stuff. And then, gave them this draw to get to me. And hit a rodent distress. I figured they got to be close. It's only 400 or 500 yards that way is that clear cut. And I figured, well, I'll give them a rodent distress first and see what happens. And then gave it a few minutes. Hit one of my squirrel distresses. It's a little louder. And man, here they come. They weren't running in, but they were moving, like they were coming in to see what's going on. I was a little bit surprised where they topped that ravine. They were probably 40 yards to the downwind offside of the call. A more mature dog probably would have came in another 20, 30 yards that way, or come around the point down here. But nevertheless, I saw movement, thought it was a squirrel at first, kept my eyes on it, got my gun ready, and sure enough, saw it was a critter. And about that time, I saw his sister's ears coming through the brush a little closer to me. Took him right there behind one of them pine trees right back there, about 25 yards away. He comes crashing over right about through where we're sitting and died about 10 feet from me. I thought I was going to have to shoot him again. It was a little bit hairy there for a minute. And I didn't know whether to spin around and shoot him again or shoot his sister as she was running away. But I didn't have much time for her, so I didn't get enough. I didn't get a chance. I didn't have a good chance at a double, but I had a double coming in and I was working a double. So, but been a good morning, super stoked. I've known about this group of coyotes in here for about a year and a half, and been working them, just flirting with them a little bit here on the edges, trying not to bust myself, trying not to overcall, and try not to give them all my secrets. First couple times in, I usually just go with a rodent distress, something that's pretty loud and, maybe start off quiet, but get loud. Today, it was a real calm morning, just a real subtle wind, but nice and steady. I figured, we'll go with the rodent and see what happens. And sure enough, rodent and squirrel got him. Couldn't be happier. We'll probably get this thing out of here and then try to reset up on this group from another direction. And I might just head on over to another section about 1.5 miles away and see if there's the other part of this group is a little further to the north. I'll probably have another set or two. I can maybe get something going here again this afternoon. So nice cool morning. It's calling for about 75, 80 degrees today. I think this morning it was about 63 when I got out here. And I will say this. I don't go anywhere without one of these attached to my backpack, and I usually have a spare in my pocket. But you cannot beat a coyote in the mountains of Virginia if you don't use this stuff. And you just can't, I don't care if you walk a mile in and you get ready to sit down and all of a sudden the wind changes and you get busted and the wind's going dead right to where you think the coyotes are. Trust your instincts. If you think the coyotes are there, do not call. Just back out of there. To them, you're a bow hunter in there scouting. They know you're there. But if you light that call up, man, they associate that sound now with your scent. So you got to work the edges of them. Every now and then you got to get aggressive and go in towards them when you get that right wind. Today I went around, like I said, I had the wrong wind down that way. I got easier access that way. But I got down there and the wind was bad. So I was like, all right, well, I got to come up here. I got down here on this main logging road down here and just started puffing the wind. And I had a real consistent wind coming out of this main draw here. I thought, well, I'm going to come right up this point. If the wind stays good, I'm going to quick get my call set up and do a quick set. Bam, there it was. It happened. So take your time. Don't overdo it. Be sneaky. Use your wind puffer, and you can get it done. So, super stoked. It's the first one I've killed in a while. So, we'll see if we can go get another one today.